I feel like no one understands for the greater good the way that Cecil does. You could tell by the marketing of Invincible Season 3 that Cecil is being put in a position where he is the foil of Mark, and his decisions will be questioned. Let me tell you, it's going to be easy for the audience to villainize Cecil, especially since we love Mark so much. I'm going to submit this argument as an early defense for Cecil and his action. Because y'all don't get it. Out of these three, Cecil is the most effective at his job, the most objective, and he's the most morally correct. Let's break it down. I don't read that many comics with Nick Fury, so I can't talk too much about his comic book iteration. I'm going to speak to the Sam Jackson iteration of Nick Fury. If you have a problem with that, you guys can go ahead and dip right now. People would say that Nick Fury is the closest to a hero out of these three. I've not seen Nick Fury do anything that could be perceived as unforgivable in the MCU. To me, Nick Fury is the least competent of the three of them. He's borderline incompetent, and that negligence leads to huge issues. How are you the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. and you don't know that more than half of your organization is Hydra? The fact that he is the liaison for a shape-shifting alien race, and they were able to illegally immigrate over 1 million of their people, and were able to infiltrate some of the most important world leaders. What are we saying here? Nick Fury is supposed to be the one that makes the hard choices. He can't even really do that because he's never fully informed. In the Marvels, he was essentially a bona fide babysitter. And in the first Avengers, where the government was ready to nuke New York City, it was clear that Nick Fury would have never been able to make that type of call. Cecil and Amanda would have dropped that bomb while listening to Busta Rhymes. While me, a New Yorker, would not want to see New York nuked. Sometimes you have to make that hard decision. I'm gonna keep Broadway up so you can see Wicked, and now the rest of the world is affected because of it. You don't got the stuff to be the director. Amanda is my girl. And in all of her recent iterations, comic book, TV shows, movies, Amanda is letting her personal belief and biases cloud her judgment. In absolute power, Amanda is just a villain. In my adventures with Superman, she's just a villain. Even in Creature Commandos, we see that Amanda is a villain. Not only is she illegally detaining these people and monsters and keeping them in inhumane living conditions, she actively forces and threatens the people who worked for her lives. Never truly gives them a chance to rehabilitate. Which brings me back to Cecil.
Turn people into monsters. You don't waste people like that. You reform them. You killed Angstrom Levy. Should I lock you up too?
Cecil does a lot of things that are ethically questionable. Most of those things revolve around him infringing on people's privacy. These three, Cecil is the only one that I feel like is actually just looking out for the people of Earth. I gotta understand, Omni-Man revealed himself. This is after he took out the Guardians of the Globe in like 5 minutes, and he decimates a city. Cecil is able to conceptualize the danger of the Viltrumites, and everything he does from then is him moving accordingly. And the thing is, everyone knows on some level that Cecil is right for the things that he does. I'm not gonna get into comic book spoilers, but there are some decisions that Cecil makes that put Mark in danger. And because everyone loves Mark and Debbie and all of them, we start to view Cecil as this villain, when in reality, he has a really valid point. Mark cannot handle these Viltrumites, and even if he could, at any time, they are at Mark's mercy, and the Earth is painfully unprepared for anything that comes at them. Cecil is desperately grasping for some sort of power and defense for Earth. He doesn't care how people perceive him because of it. Now, I will get into comic book spoilers. The saddest part about all of the work that Cecil did to protect the Earth is that, and once again, if you didn't read the comic and don't want to be spoiled, you need to leave. The fact that no one appreciated him, and they didn't even have the decency to go to his funeral. When it comes to this archetype, I feel like Cecil is the perfect balance. And I need y'all to know that when season 3 comes out, I will be defending him.